Our next guest is a local author who wrote a memoir about her battle with mental illness in hopes of helping others who may be struggling. It's called On the Edge of Insanity. So let's welcome Emily Watson. Thank you so much for joining us today. You look beautiful.
Thank you, so do you.
Oh, thank you so much. All right, so tell us about your book.
So my book is about my struggles with severe bipolar disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, anxiety disorder, and panic disorder. It's a real and raw look at what it's like to suffer from mental illness. I was diagnosed in 2001, and the book covers the next 13 years. And what's really unique about the book is that it was written stream of consciousness, so you can literally see me going from the highs of mania to the lows of depression to the severe anxiousness and stress of a panic disorder.
Wow.
And a fun part of the book is that each chapter starts with a famous quote. So the very first quote in the book goes, it summarizes the chapter. So
okay.
The very first quote in the book goes, "But I don't want to go among the mad people," Alice remarked. "Well, you can't help that," said the cat. "We're all mad here. I'm mad, you're mad," from Alice in Wonderland. And then the second quote is from Henry David Thoreau, "The massive men lead lives of quiet desperation." And while the book does have some darker, more desperate moments, there's a lot of humor and hope in it, so it's a very easy read.
Oh, that's good. Why did you want to write this book?
I wanted to write this book to help those who suffer feel less alone and seen, and help their friends and family better understand what they're going through, and to help remove the stigma on mental illness, that it's merely a sign of mental weakness, because it's absolutely not. It's a real medical condition, just like any physical condition. Like my own mother actually didn't understand what I was going through until she read the book, and I heard that from a lot of loved ones and friends and family members who read the book about their loved one, and it really helped them understand what their loved one was going through.
Right, because you were saying like it's not a physical, something that you can see.
It's like an invisible illness.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's great that you've been able to put this out there for people to understand more. And then you kind of mentioned why it's a little bit unique with those quotes and that it's a stream of consciousness. What else would you say about that it makes it unique?
Well, it's a really brutally honest account, because I said I could write this book one of two ways. I could tell the cleaned up version where I come off looking good, or I could tell the true horror of it where I come off looking not so good, and I chose the latter because the only way I'm going to be able to help people is by telling the truth.
That's
and
true.
Then the stream of consciousness, again, is what makes it really unique too. It's just you really go along the ride with me as feeling what it's like to have these mental illnesses.
Right.
And so it's really good in that aspect.
So how bad were your mental illnesses?
My mental illnesses were about as severe as they could be.
Really?
I could not function in everyday life. It took everything inside of me to get through 1 minute at a time.
Oh, wow.
1 minute was an all-out battle for my sanity. And it was so bad that I was basically a hermit for like 10 years. And I had rapid cycling bipolar disorder, which means I cycled rapidly between mania and depression. And at its worst, it was so bad that I was literally cycling every other minute.
Oh, wow.
And it was something that my doctor could literally see flashing in my eyes.
Oh my gosh.
And my bipolar was so bad that I was literally a broken robot forced to perform the same task over and over.
Right.
And like we mentioned before, it is an invisible illness. Like, to the majority of the time I had it, you couldn't tell anything was wrong.
Oh, okay.
So to the outside world, I looked completely healthy, because inside, the entire battle for my sanity was going inside my own mind.
Yeah, and it's not something people necessarily see or, like you said, understand. What do you hope people will take away from your book?
Unfortunately, there's a lot of darkness in this world, and I try to bring light to everything I do and everyone I meet, and it's my hope that this book will bring light to the millions of those lost in the darkness. And I hope that people who suffer will feel seen and understood, and that it's okay not to be okay, and that no matter how dark things seem, there's always a ray of light and hope to guide you through. Because I was very suicidal numerous times throughout the book, and one thing that always stayed with me was hope. Hope that one day I would get better, that one day I'd be able to lead a normal life again, and eventually that did happen.
Awesome.
So you just have to, for those people out there who are suffering, you have to stay in the fight, because like no storm lasts forever. Eventually the sun has to come out. And something that really helped me was writing. So writing helped release a lot of the poison and a lot of the pent-up emotions I was going through. And when I wrote this book, I actually released a lot of it. I don't remember what's in the book, because I released it. Like I had to go back and reread it to remember a lot of it.
That's so interesting. And you also are writing some fiction books as well, right? Tell us about those.
I'm trying to, they're both finished, so I'm trying to publish them currently. So one is a young adult fantasy romance titled Eliaria the Awakening, and it's the first in a trilogy, and it's about a 16, 17-year-old girl who discovers that her and her family have something magical about them. I don't want to give too many details away. And then the other one is a young adult sci-fi romance titled The Last Footprints, and it's the first of at least one other. and it's an archaeological quest around the globe, sort of like Indiana Jones, but with a female lead.
There you go.
And you can find the first chapter of both those books on my website.
Wonderful. And give us your website and then also where we can find your memoir.
Well, my memoir is available on Amazon in paperback or Kindle, and then my website is emilywatson.net. And you can find some of my poems on there, my short stories, the first chapter of both the fiction books and the memoir, and learn a little bit more about me and hopefully some hopeful tidbits that will help you if you're suffering from mental illness.
Or know someone who is.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you so much for joining us and
you.
telling us a little bit about your story. I do think that this will help people. I cannot wait to read it, and I'm so glad that you're doing well.
Thank you. I really appreciate you having me on. It's been a pleasure.
Of course. And if you'd like to see this interview again, everyone, just head to First Coast News Plus.